definitely leaking, so we're gonna get it over to my shop and see what's going on. This radiator is out of Fred Jr.'s 1977 Trans Am. The shroud has rubbed holes on the tubes on both sides. I'm gonna attempt to repair it today with Alumiweld welding rods from Harbor Freight. These are aluminum brazing rods. When I'm finished, I'll pressure test it, and if it works, we're gonna reinstall it in the Trans Am. If it doesn't, we're gonna buy a new one. When we're all finished, we're gonna take that Trans Am right down Las Vegas Boulevard and maybe do some burnouts. Let's take a close-up look at the repairs I need to make today. Here you can see on the tubes where the shroud has really gotten into the tubes. It's happened there, and it's happened over here on the other side as well. I'm using a brand new stainless steel brush to prep the surface. And to finish the prep, I'm gonna wipe it down with some acetone. That doesn't sound good. All right, I think I know what's going on here, but I'm not sure. Let me zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me get down here and zoom in on what I'm talking about. Right there, you can see that discoloration behind my braze weld. It's not letting the Alumirod bond to this aluminum because that scale's back there. Maybe there's something I don't understand about these brazing rods. Maybe there's something that one of you know that I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. If someone can tell me something different, maybe we can salvage this thing. All right, it's a new day in the shop, and our new radiator for the Trans Am has arrived.
So we picked up this cold case radiator. We've used them on a couple other things in the past, and if you ever have any questions, their customer support is awesome, and these guys run what they sell, so they're very knowledgeable about their products.
Let's get this thing out of the box and get it put in. Some of you may notice the 1963 Corvette here in the background. If you haven't checked that video out yet, I'll put a link to that video at the end of today's video.
So this thing is a much better product than the Champion one that we've pulled out of there. The Champion one worked well, it cooled well, we never had any overheating issues with it. But as you can tell on this thing, it has the stamp tanks on here versus the fabbed ones, so there's less prone to leakage.
Nice.
We're just checking our bracket fitment on here now and making sure that everything plays nicely with the new radiator. And it looks like it does. The other radiator was not the original radiator, so we made up a set of brackets for that because it used to have a mechanical fan in here and had a big plastic shroud that encased it all. So when we switched that out, we put in some different brackets, and everything seems to line up just like it did with the other one. I will say that I think the fit's a little bit better on this one.
I like it.
Let's get our fans back in here and see how it all mounts up. So we've got our electric fans that we're putting back in here, and these came out of a 90s Camaro, but the 4th gen fans are good. They pull a lot of air, and it's just a custom aluminum shroud that we ended up sourcing. So let's get it back in.
This is the same shroud that rubbed a hole in the last radiator.
It has since been modified and will no longer rub a hole in the new radiator.
Right.
So we cut the sides of this back a little bit and then put a plastic edge guard on there. The edge guard's probably a little overkill, but it ate one radiator already.
Go a little lower. Oh, you're not on it.
So we're going to get this thing buttoned back up, get our coolant in there, make sure there's no leaks, and then we're going to take it for a test drive down the strip.
Right down Las Vegas Boulevard.
While we're here, we've been fighting with an alignment on the power steering pump, so we're going to take a moment and try to address that.
That was a washer you had?
Yeah, we were playing with the alignment. How does it look down the belt that way?
Looks better. It's a large pry bar.
Yes, it is. Alright, let's connect some hoses and see. We messed up.
What are you doing, Junior?
We may have excluded an item. Our thermostat probe did not make it back into the radiator for our fan controller. So we're going to rectify that now.
Doing stuff twice.
Not because it's nice. Alright. That guy's in there. We're going to get the hoses and the clamps back on this thing and make sure everybody's watertight.
That's got all the hoses and the wiring harness for the cooling fans.
And that's the last of our coolant. Let's top it off with some distilled water, and we're going to start it up and check for leaks. So we're going to go ahead and let this thing warm up. We're going to check the thermostat, make sure that opens up, there's no air bubbles, and check for leaks again, and we'll get it pressure tested. Let it build a little bit of pressure. So a little bit about this car. We bought this thing out of Ohio and it was pretty rusted, so a buddy of ours does body work. He went ahead and put new sheet metal, so everything from the doors back is all new sheet metal. We've built up a Pontiac 400 for it. Stock cube motor, big cam, we've got aluminum heads, lots of go fast goodies. This car, it's not perfect, but it's meant to be a great driver. So there's not a whole lot that's still original on it as far as that goes for the drivetrain, but we've got a lot more coming, so stay tuned for that. So we got everything back together on this thing, everything looks good, we don't have any coolant leaks. Let's take it out for a road test.
Road test. There's a lot of traffic today. Really wish we would have been able to fix this radiator with the Alumiweld, but the new radiator definitely did the trick.
That cold case radiator looks like it's going to hold up to the challenge. No leaks, everything looks good. So
thanks for watching.